Live from Basement Boulevard and Rock Island Avenue. This is Cellar County with Butch and Cofi. Oh my god, the whole NFL has just turned upside freaking down. What do you say, Butch?
I couldn't disagree with that statement only for two reasons, which we're about to uncover.
Yes. When we said a few weeks ago, first off, we apologize for a delay. Technical issues on my end prevented us from recording a podcast last week. So we're doing it tonight. Probably the Christmas Eve's Eve.
Happy Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays.
I just said robotica.
Fuck. Stop watching Futurama for a second. And second, to everyone out there, happy holidays to everyone. And to quote one of my other heroes, if you have a problem with happy holidays, then happy shut the fuck up.
Oh, we're off to a fabulous start.
See, this is what the NFL does to us. The Steelers, the Jets, everything going on with the Bears, everything.
A couple weeks ago, we asked ourselves what was more likely: the Steelers going 16-0 or the Jets going 0-16.
And what we say? We said the Jets going 0-16 was more likely to happen. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. The Jets had won a game.
Folks, it is a Christmas miracle that is only fit for 2020. Only now, the Jets having a win is a gigantic L for the entire state of New Jersey. Y'all should change your name to the New Jersey Jets. You are a shame to New York. Tell them what they want, Cofi, with this shitty win.
I'm sorry, I'm still going with the fact you wanted to change the name to Jets, and you said they were a disappointment to New York, and I legit was thinking of other teams that could equal that mark, and no, you're probably right.
The benefit of the Jets winning is that Trevor Lawrence is not going to New Jersey! Woo!
Well, that's not the case yet, and I'll explain why in a sec. But essentially, tell us, Butch, exactly what has happened when the Jets beat the Rams. Break down this game for me.
A portal of hell has opened up from the Meadowlands as the Jets seem to pull a improbable win out of their asses to the one and only L.A. Rams, a almost guaranteed playoff bound team out of the NFC West.
I was about to say potentially the biggest fraud team in the NFL, but that's just me.
You need to erase your status as an LA football team and pack up your bags and go back to St. Louis. That's how bad this game was. That is how bad the franchise is reveling in this loss. Sean McVay, this will forever sit as a shit stain in his coaching legacy.
Worst case scenario, like if they somehow in a slew of Cinderella bullshit make did I just say Cinderella bullshit?
You just did after I said robotica.
I know. If there's a fairy tale story and they somehow win Super Bowl, they're still gonna say, yeah, but we didn't lose to the Jets.
The fairy tale ending was supposed to be the previous game against the Raiders, which we talked about in our aforementioned failed podcast. The infamous Hail Mary that got Greg Williams fired. That was the guaranteed 0-16 at that point. MGM Grand said it was more realistic that the Jets were going to go 0-16. And I did not see the following week the New York Jets would somehow pull out a miracle win.
Wait. There was one game in between, though. They had that game with the Seahawks where they got their ass spanked 40-3.
Absolutely terrible.
Which we thought going to this round, it's like, oh, it's going to be another ass whooping. Nope, not the case.
I mean, who do you feel worse? I mean, obviously the answer is the Rams, but do you feel horrible for Jets fans?
Actually, considering my history with Jets fans, I think next to the original Raiders fans, they are just the worst. But
Yes.
I would say for the Jets fans is that
I
look at it this
do-
way: it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment. If you do lose this game and proceed to go 0-16, you're like, or at least we're guaranteed to get Trevor Lawrence if he enters the draft. Now with this, you're not. There's a small. You basically open the door for Trevor Lawrence to go to Jacksonville.
I knew a Jets fan during the Rex Ryan years when they're going to the AFC Championship game.
And you know the funny thing I say about this and why I say this open the door? Who the Jets play next week, Butch?
The Jets play the aforementioned Browns. The Browns beat the Jets, and they have a couple of scenarios. They are playoff bound, baby.
All right, well,
holy crap.
Well, here's the other thing. Who does Jacksonville play next week?
Jacksonville, if I'm correct, plays. I believe they play a team out of LA, if I'm correct.
No.
They play the Bears! Oh, boy! Oh, boy!
No. You know who to play, right? I'm gonna give you a second. Look it up. Look it up. Because I want to see your reaction when you see this.
Who the Jags play? I'm looking at it right now. They play the Bears.
Exactly. What's more likely to happen? A Jacksonville loss to the Bears or a Jets win against the Browns? Or Jets lost to the Browns, my bad. What's more likely to happen?
Ooh.
There's really only one right answer if you think about it.
I'm going to say a Jets loss to the Browns.
Yes. This means that
boy.
This means that the Bears, my Bears, still with Trubisky as the quarterback and still with Nagy as the head coach, are possibly going to fuck this up.
The Jags are now favored to get to number one and to get to Trevor Lawrence. The Jets all but shot themselves in the foot with this one.
Yes, they did.
2020. Yes, 2020 aside, it is possible that these next two games may play out where the Jags somehow pull off a miracle win, and maybe the Jets stay on course and keep at 1-15. But they were all
that would require deliberate tanking, though. That would require deliberate tanking.
Not only that,
you got the Patriots.
Game, after that debacle, allowing 8 men to rush and only sending 3 back. You're talking about deliberate taking? That is the definition right there. They were set aside to get Trevor Lawrence. The poor man from Clemson was being forced to take a plane up to New Jersey, and now his destination might be sunny Florida. And the possible Duval. Excuse me, I was going somewhere with this. All I'm saying is,
I'll let you go.
Jacksonville seems like a better fit for Trevor Lawrence. And if you were to personally ask him, I guarantee you'd say Duval over New Jersey. 9 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10, excuse me. He does not want to go to the Jets.
Who wants to go to the Jets? No one wants to go to the Jets. You could have the second coming of Tom Brady, second coming of Russell Wilson, and second coming of Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson, all in one person. And he said, I'm not going to the fucking Jets.
Most seeked out prospect since Andrew Luck. This is a thing 10 years in the making.
And look at how Andrew Luck turned out. No offense to him. He's still a pretty good quarterback.
All I'll say is ownership screwed him over. Ownership.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
That's already a perfect definition because they would screw up. Woody Johnson does not give a shit about his football team. He cares more about being the fucking ambassador to England than he does about a shitty ass football team, who, by the way, shares a stadium with the Giants. If he cared so much about his team, he would be playing New Jersey with the aforementioned fumble. Excuse me, the dirt machine. God, I can't get these two teams mixed apart.
They're both equally terrible. Well, one is equally terrible. The other is just somehow starting to show that they might still be competent. Barely.
Somewhat.
Barely. All right, so let's talk about the other walking disaster that is the Steelers. When they lost their first game, I thought, okay, you lost your first game. That's good. You're still on track to do pretty well. Then they played their next game. They lost that. I thought, okay, it's falling apart, but you still got this. You're still in good shape. Now you just got to go in and beat the Bengals.
A team without Joe Burrow.
Apparently, that's too much to ask for to beat the fucking Bengals on Monday Night Football.
If you watched that game,
I saw that whole game, and I was like, Ben, what in the actual fuck is wrong with you?
I got 5
You don't hear me smacking my hands, but that's me smacking my hands right now about emphasizing every... wait, no, hold on to it. What the fuck is wrong with you, Ben? Okay, yeah.
5 words. The curse of Juju.
That's 4 words.
Had he not danced...
That's 4 words, dude. 3 to count Juju is a full name.
I'm just gonna say Juju because I don't like say Juju Smith-Schuster. That name is super long.
5 words though. Curse of Juju Smith-Schuster. That's 5 words.
I said Juju.
Anyway, on with your rant.
All I'm gonna say is he should not have danced on the Bengals logo at the 50-yard line. The Bengals took that to offense as to say, hey, guess what? I know our season's in the trash. We're eliminated for the playoffs. But, oh, yeah, you guys are rivals. You guys are just upriver on the Ohio. Why don't we come in and kick your ass? Why don't we come in and destroy you on national television, make you a national laughingstock, and, oh, yeah, slip you to one game hole on the division in which you are more likely to lose it than win it with 2 games to go. This team will probably go 11-5. It's all but guaranteed. You play the Colts next week, and then you play the Browns.
There's no real good way to look at this.
No. You all but had the division. You all but had a defeated season. Yes, the Washington loss was horrible. Yes, the Bills game was a somewhat good game, but it was losable. But you do not go out and lose to the Cincinnati Bengals. You do not go out and lose to a team without their starting quarterback, their number 1 overall starting quarterback. You do not go out and lose to whoever the fuck their head coach is. I forgot his name for a second. All I'm saying is, do this, man. Take that terrible towel, cover your face, run outside to the snow, and bury yourself as you scream into the ground. Oh man. I feel bad. I feel horrible for you. You watched that whole game.
I watched that whole game with my mom because she's a huge Steelers fan as well, and this entire game was just made me want to drink more. Like I like to have a drink once. I like to have 1 or 2 drinks during Monday Night Football when I watch it. Sometimes I'm drinking beer, sometimes I'm drinking whiskey. This just made me want to grab the nearest bottle of Everclear and just start chugging.
Can I just say one more thing?
Oh yeah.
You guys lost to a quarterback that didn't even complete 100 yards the entire game.
Okay.
7 for 13 for 89 yards.
Remember how I said, depending on which game, if the Jets win, we were going to do shots of a drink depending on how bad the loss is. This made it even worse. This is the one where it's like, I'm going to have to down a whole bottle of Everclear and just kill my liver because of this. Because of this week alone.
It is a terrible week.
And there's still crazy shit in football we still have to talk about.
Our 2 predictions previously that were true have aged like milk. Fortunately, we will not see another team join the 0-16 plateau. And now there's a possibility that the Cleveland Browns might actually win the AFC North because the Steelers can't seem to get their shit together.
That's actually something I wouldn't mind happening.
I would rather drink bleach. I would rather fly into the sun I would rather put on a Cavaliers jersey and root for that piece of shit LeBron James.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I would
The
not go
Browns-
that. I would not go that far.
The Browns
I'll
are
bet I
like
won't go
the
there.
yes, I will. The Browns are the identical twin of my hometown team, the Detroit Lions. In every way, they suck. And to see the Browns see success and see a glimmer of hope while we stare at a pile of dung
Excuse me.
and the plane wreckage that is at my feet right now, I will say it will pain my soul to see the Browns win anything. On the 2020 side, hopefully we'll see an epic choke of epic proportions for these Browns. As for the Steelers, get the turkey leg out of your goddamn mouth and figure your shit out. This is what you get for delaying the Ravens game, you pieces of shit. Fuck you.
All right. Before we move on to other news in the football world, let's talk about our respective teams. The Bears actually beat the Vikings, and to be honest, I'm conflicted about this win.
Where you guys go?
Yeah, because it's another situation. I feel like, damn if we win, damn if we don't win. Because if we don't win, it just proves the Bears suck, which we all know. We all know the Bears just Trubisky sucks, Nagy sucks.
I'm looking at some.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at some of these games right now. The only team you're currently really behind would be the Washington football team. That's the
other damn if we do, because we won. We're closer to the playoffs. This could justify us keeping Nagy and Trubisky for another year.
See, I
hear internal screaming in my head now just thinking of that thought.
You actually have. Here's the disaster scenario. Unfortunately, Tampa Bay is behind. Excuse me, not the Falcons, the Saints in the NFC South. They're in if they win or tie or Chicago loses. So practically, you need Tom Brady to. You need the Lions to come through for you. If you're actually wanting to get to the playoffs, you need to play to my team. You need to wear Honolulu blue, baby.
Remind me, who you guys got next?
We're playing the Bucks. We're playing the team that is ahead of you in the playoffs. That if they win, they're in. You guys are out.
True, but who you have that last week again? Who you have last week? Who's trying
Tennessee?
Yes.
Tennessee.
Who are playing the Saints on Christmas Day. These next few NFC North games are just a clusterfuck of who's gonna suck more and who's gonna make the playoffs. But I will say this. Butch. Well, you said at the beginning of the NFL season that the Bears would go 8-8. I said, no, I would give them like 9-7. I never thought you would be so right. I never prayed for you to be right. 8-8 is a best case scenario now for me.
Yeah, but at 8-8 is Nagy gone.
If it means we missed the playoffs, then yes.
Are you going to GM as well, or you just want Nagy out?
A little of both, but I would say ideally 8-8, but having a 5-1 start and then blowing it like that, yeah, that's me showing you the door.
What about the fabled 7th seed? Don't you want to get in the playoffs?
But if we do get to the playoffs,
it's 2020, Cofi. Have some faith. It's holidays.
Basically, yes. Part of me that doesn't want Trubisky or Nagy there saying, don't win. But on the other side, if they do win and do make the playoffs and do manage to somehow win one game, they have to win one game, then maybe, just maybe, there's a small voice in the back of my head, that small bit of light, that's telling me, maybe Trubisky isn't so bad. Maybe Nagy is still good enough at what he does. Of course, the rest of my brain wants to choke the light until it's nothing. But it's like it's still there. It's like that little bit of light is always the hardest to snuff out. And that's exactly what's going through my head right now with this.
You're conflicted You just need to do some breathing exercises.
Or I just
Do
need to
some
drink more.
yoga.
Or I just need to drink more.
Yes, that too.
All right. So
As
how
for my-
about your Lions? What did they do this week? Oh, let me check right here.
They kept Derrick Henry under 200 yards when I thought he was going to run all over our awful defense. But you had Ryan Tannehill run for 2 touchdowns, and he passed for 3. Matt Stafford was somehow allowed to start this game instead of giving the final farewell that he truly deserves, either to a better football team or to the Hall of Barry and Calvin in terms of just saying upright, screw it, I quit. This team has broken my spirit, and I will not do with another year. Same old Lions. Finally out of the playoffs, you can now start to focus on who you want as a GM and a head coach. And I will say this, we're in a better spot than the Bears because we are currently trying to take for the BYU quarterback, Ed Wilson. And as of right now, how is he doing in the bowl game?
They're up. They're up right now. I don't remember what it was, but I knew they were up by a few when I first checked.
49-23.
Yeah.
49-23. Wilson has had 425 passing yards.
God damn it,
baby.
But Skits UCF. Wait, that's actually.
Yeah,
UCF.
Good.
Yeah, that's.
That's good. That's good. They can't claim another national title from this year.
We will get to the college football playoffs in a sec. So, all right. So next week is a lot of stuff going on in the NFL, and you can guarantee we will be nonstop bitching about that. So let's talk about college football and why I also think that the football world is just going out of its way to screw with me. All right. So allow me to start on something, Butch. As you know, with this pandemic has changed a lot of things. It's caused many conferences to first say, we're not playing, and then slowly say, okay, maybe we will play, and then others say, okay, we're going to play, but some kept it in conference, referring to a certain team. We will get to that in a sec. So, what was I campaigning for even before this pandemic? What was I campaigning for?
Expanded playoffs?
Yes, expanded playoffs. Where at the very least, with the expanded playoffs, you could justify if a team has a bridge schedule or the schedule gets messed up, you can justify them getting in and have more of a diverse field. But they're like, no, we're going to keep it to 4 teams because we believe the best 4 teams should go in. I thought, okay, fair. You're still trying to keep this normal. We'll get to that road of 8 teams or maybe 16 someday, but we don't want to do it now. When it's the perfect time.
Fine.
That's fine. I can accept that. Then came the first poll results, which I've also complained about. Like, Ohio State was still being ranked in the polls despite only playing Big Ten teams. When you consider the Big Ten as a whole and consider who's in the Big Ten, that's not a lot of competition to really go through.
Let's make one thing clear about the college playoff.
Yeah.
The college playoff is the only thing of its kind in football, professional or collegiate. Division II, Division III have a tournament-like style, and NFL has the best 6 teams. This year, they made an exception. Corona expanded to 7 teams. College football playoff was created to get rid of the ugly beast that was the BCS.
The Bowl Championship Series, one of the worst things to ever be invented in any sport.
I will say this right now. After looking over what this year has done, what teams are in, and all the circumstances put together, I would rather have the BCS in this shit.
I wouldn't fully agree to it, but I see your point.
2 conferences, the Big Ten and the Pac-12, did not want to play, and everyone thought they were heroes because every other conference was going to follow their lead. That was the thought. And then you had the SEC come in and say, nah, we're going to play. Fuck you. every other conference got its shit together and started playing. And by the time October hit and the first BCS rankings came out, Ohio State was somehow ranked, and they had not played a single game. And now, 2 months later, after only playing 6 games,
You heard that right, folks.
Ohio
6
State
games.
is-
6 games. It wasn't even against all the Big Ten. It was not even against the strongest of the Big Ten. It's only 6 freaking games against. Let's take a look at Ohio State's schedule really quick for Butch. Let's just take a look at Ohio State's schedule. Who did they play? They played Nebraska. Not that great. Penn State. One in Penn State. Rutgers. Shit team. Maryland. That game. Well, wait. I forgot that game's canceled. Not Maryland. Indiana, which is a fluke. Which is a fluke if you look at it with everything with Indiana. They played Michigan State. Michigan State's garbage. Doesn't count. The Michigan game, the game of the Big House, canceled. So the one game that actually should matter, they didn't play. They didn't play.
Wait. Time out. You're also forgetting one thing. Indiana was ahead of you in the East in terms of amount of games played, and then your conference decided to shoot itself in the foot and say, oh, well, we're going to change the rules last minute so we can guarantee Ohio State plays one more game to be bowl eligible. They shoved Indiana out of the way and put them in the Big Ten championship game, an easy walkthrough of Northwestern, and now somehow they are playing against Clemson in the Final Four.
Yeah. They played the least amount of games of all the contenders, of all these contenders, and they're saying, oh, we only played 6 games, you're in. And that's not even the worst thing about what just happened this past weekend. That's not even the worst thing. We had the ACC championship.
Wait. Before we get there, I will say this. If you were not a fan of the playoff before this weekend, you
will want the name of every person on that committee just so you know when another disaster like this happens, who you blame, who you blame, who you write angry letters to, who do you say this whole thing is bullshit and it's your fault. Those are the people you should say it to.
Why they expect the 8 games, I will not understand. But get to the ACC game, my friend, because holy shit.
Clemson versus Notre Dame, which you said a week ago that Notre Dame was independent. I thought they were playing the ACC. And nope, they were in the ACC championship. I thought, okay, that's what. All right, they're playing an ACC game. This game is essentially a college football quarterfinal. Winner, because we all thought winners in, losers out. So the game is played, and Clemson just, I wouldn't say it's a full-blown spanking. I wouldn't say it's full-blown spanking, but 34-10. Come on, that's dominating.
That was bad.
Somehow, when you released the final rankings, what did you say? Alabama's won. Okay, obvious. Alabama did play everyone, and they did win, so that's fair.
Clemson.
That's a fair one. Number 2, Clemson. Okay, they won. They defeated a strong team in Notre Dame. That's fine. They're in. Ohio State. We just talked about all the shit with Ohio State. And they're in. Who's the last team? Who's number 4? Notre fucking Dame.
Dame.
I heard this.
Texas.
They got over Texas.
The only reason why Texas A&M did get in ahead of them was because they didn't play. There is some controversy in the Big 12. They weren't able to play their conference championship, unfortunately. But you do not put Notre Dame in when they were number 4, and they lost!
Notre Dame got their ass kicked! They got their butts kicked! And you still want to sit here and tell me, oh yeah, Notre Dame, that's good too. What about this Florida team? What about Florida? What about all the other teams? What about Georgia? What about okay, maybe not Georgia and Cincinnati. What about the other teams? What Texas A&M? What about these other teams? No, we're taking Notre Dame. What the fuck is wrong with you, people? This is why I said we need to expand the thing. This is why I say we need to go 18 because of this exact situation. This exact problem has happened.
The college football playmat is a dinosaur,
Like
and they
the whole
are not welcoming new
like
ideas.
to me, the college football season is only the regular season. All these fucking bowl games, all these college football players, this doesn't mean shit anymore. All that is just a dumpster fire of fucking fecal matter. It is shit. It's garbage. It's any word that is a synonym for shit. That's the entire postseason of college football, and why. From now on, I don't give a fuck about college football. I don't give a fuck about who's the best team, who should be ranked number one college football. I do not give a fuck anymore. Because to me, it's to me either do a full playoff or do the full conference championship or don't crown a national fucking champion like this.
It is so biased, and it is so
like we always we joke that we thought, oh, it's biased to the SEC because the SEC has so much talent because of the amount of times SEC teams do get in. But now it's just biased against. Okay, no, we want. Okay, who cares if Texas A&M's a good team? Who cares if Florida's a good team? Who cares about that? We need to pass the name test. We need a game that's gonna pass the name test, even if the team is fucking garbage. What sounds better? What sounds better to you? Alabama versus Florida? Two good teams Alabama versus Texas A&M, a good matchup, or Alabama versus Notre Dame. I guarantee you, they looked at this and I thought, I like Notre Dame. Notre Dame sounds better. Let's put them in. Fuck all those people. Fuck the committee. Fuck that whole committee.
One more thing for my one more thing. Fuck Brian Kelly. Oh, we're not gonna play in the college.
Go. All right, I'm gonna just silence myself for a minute. Butch, go off. Just go off.
The pretext before the ACC championship game, when Notre Dame was favored to get into the college playoff, Brian Kelly came out with a damning statement about the Rose Bowl. Now, for all of you that don't know, the Rose Bowl is in California. California does not allow fans in attendance at their stadiums, and specifically speaking, they do not allow families of the players or coaches. Brian Kelly, and the days before the ACC championship game, ACC championship blowout, moments before his team was about to get their anuses pummeled on national television, said that we will not play in the college football playoff. We will not play in the college football playoff if we cannot have fans in attendance, especially families of our players and coaches. What a biased fucking statement. Yes, I understand there's some specialty to this game. Yes, it is the Final Four. Yes, you want to have your families there to witness one of the greatest moments of your life. You do not say that when you are about to get fucking pummeled and when you're almost guaranteed to get into the college playoff. Any other team that saw that would have ultimately been like, you know what? I understand that. I'll take your spot. Why not? Well, guess what happened? Not too long after that came out, an announcement was made, and the college football playoff to be played at the Rose Bowl was moved from California to fucking Texas.
Not just Texas. They're in the Cowboy Stadium. They're in Jerry World. They're in motherfucking Jerry World for this.
So the Cotton Bowl played at the historic Cotton Bowl in Dallas, where we played only miles away from the historic Rose Bowl that is now to be hosted by Jerry World. Holy fucking shit.
Wow. My expectations for this football season were low, but holy... I admit, there was some good moments, but the past weekend alone has taught me, holy fuck, there's a reason we hate the NCAA. We hate all this bullshit, and this just proves it in terms of football.
College football will never be relevant if they decide to stick with this dinosaur system.
They need to go, at the very least, go to 8 teams. Or do a play-in system okay, let's say... No, 8 teams! No, it has to be 8 teams!
Has to be 18.
It has to be 18. Oh my god, this whole thing is just...
It's fucky, dude. It hurts.
All of college football, I should not be having this much stress about football before Christmas.
Oh.
Because we should be getting basketball. The NBA is starting tonight. Or started. Like the game's on right now, and what we're talking about.
The first game wasn't really much to talk about because the Warriors got blown the fuck out.
It makes me miss Draymond Green and Klay Thompson on that team because Steph Curry cannot do that whole team.
Sports are supposed to be escape from reality, and we cannot escape the reality that the college football playoff is totally biased, and the fact that the inclusion of 2 more teams for the previous BCS championship format has not made things better. In fact, has complicated things even more. And in normal years, one conference gets screwed over. In this case, in this year, we now have 2. Congratulations, college football. You have pissed off millions of fans nationwide, and y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for this bullshit.
You are destroying the legacy and the institution that is college football because of this bullshit.
Ohio State wins, I'm done. Ohio State wins, I'm done.
Best case scenario for me is we get Clemson, Alabama, which to me would be a freaking great game. I would still watch that game though.
I would rather.
I would put an asterisk next to the winner of that game, but that'd still be a fun game. But that's the best case scenario to this whole thing.
Oh my god! Give me a bottle of bleach right now. Just kill me.
All right, so
now. I think that's about to wrap it up. Unless you had anything else you wanted to add.
I would say tune in maybe a few days. We're gonna do a Christmas special on all the NBA Christmas games. We have, surprisingly, none of our teams are playing on Christmas, I believe.
That's okay. I know my Pistons are about to be garbage, and your Bulls are in the same trash heap as we are.
I would say who's gonna be worse. Let's take bets. Who's gonna be worse?
I will say the Bulls, but I feel like the Pistons will make a run for your money.
I feel like I will get a better idea once I see the first 10 games to get a better idea of who's going to be a dumpster fire and who's going to be a barge fire.
What's the most anticipated matchup you're looking forward to so far for this Xmas schedule?
On Christmas or just in general?
Christmas.
I would say, I kind of want to say I like seeing...
How about Clippers and Nuggets?
I'm thinking Mavericks Lakers because Luka Doncic to me is someone who I think this guy is the new future of the NBA. He is the new rising star we should all get behind. And he's playing against the defending champions. This should be a great matchup.
I'd like to see how the Clippers do. Right. Only because of last year's epic choke job that they pull off.
Oh yeah, that. Well, we also got Brooklyn. And Boston. That should be a pretty good matchup too.
I don't mind, but you gotta go classic, and you gotta go New York and Boston. I get Brooklyn's the hotter team, but you gotta go for a rivalry, dude.
Fuck the Knicks. When you were thinking about dumpster fires worse than the Jets, I was gonna say New York Knicks. That's the team I should have said earlier was a bigger dumpster fire.
Think so? I mean,
I would say
you don't like the matchup. It just doesn't sound good.
You're talking about the Knicks versus the Celtics.
Yes.
No, God, no. At least not now. At least not in this state.
What about the conference semis rematch between the choking Clippers and the Nuggets?
See, that's a great game. That's actually gonna be. It's the last game of the night.
But they put that ahead of the Lakers game.
No, I was about to say. Here's the one thing that I thought was kind of weird, and I don't fully understand NBA Christmas scheduling, but here's my thing. If it's on Christmas night, you have 5 games. 3 of those games are on ESPN. No, not this. No, I'm sorry. 3 of those games are on ABC now. Wouldn't it make sense to put the 3 games everyone wants to see, like the last 3 games of the night, on ABC?
I would say so, but
why do we have to put one game? Why do we have to put a highly anticipated game, on a channel not many people watch?
ESPN?
Yeah. Yeah, Clippers and Nuggets is on ESPN.
Who knows? The NBA probably spent so much on the NBA to televise the games that they want to put the most anticipated matchup at 7:30.
I would say if you want to put like anticipating matchups on something, you could do better than ESPN. You go TNT. But I'm pretty sure Shaq and Chuck don't want to work Christmas.
But you can't do that at Christmas. You gotta put it on a main channel, and
well,
ESPN.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would say the only reason ESPN gets these games because what other major sports games are going to be on Christmas? Not really much.
The NHL ain't playing. The NFL does not play on Friday. So yeah, you have.
Well, no, the NFL does have one game this Friday. It's Vikings and Saints. They got one game Friday. I think that's on Fox, though.
All right, so not really trying to compete with that. Interesting.
Here's my thing that I never fully understood, and this is just a side tangent before we end the podcast. When the college basketball starts up, what are the biggest networks college network is on? If it's not on ESPN, what are the other two big networks? TNT, and CBS and CBS.
Yeah.
So my thing is that if basketball is such a lucrative property, why doesn't CBS have more of a stake when it comes to special games like this?
It really depends on who's playing, and I know conference by conference it varies. Like the Big Ten has a big thing with Fox. I know they're big in bed with Fox.
I would say if you want to say what the three biggest mainstream sports networks are, Fox, NBC, and ABC are the three biggest.
I would say CBS only because they have Sunday Night Football. ABC,
NBC has Sunday Night Football, not CBS. Wait.
What? Oh, you're thinking Monday Night Football.
No. Monday Night Football's ESPN.
Yeah, but that's under ABC. That's why I thought you meant ABC, as in they own ESPN. Disney owns ESPN. That's what I thought you meant by that.
Okay, I'm lost. I'm lost.
Okay,
let's just go.
No. I know what you're trying to say. But I would say CBS is bigger because they carry more NFL games, and the NFL is the most lucrative product.
I was saying the big game, the Sunday night game. That's not CBS.
Yes, it is.
No.
ABC, right? Excuse me.
No. CBS has the Sunday football during the day, but if you're talking about the primetime Sunday night game, that's NBC.
I got that wrong. My apologies.
That's why we got confused here, and that's now we're all on the same page here. So
a clerical error, Butch's part. The only reason why I was confused when I said ABC was because I thought you were referring to ESPN's Monday Night Football, and I thought you meant under the umbrella concept of ESPN being owned by Disney and ABC being owned by Disney. That's what I thought you meant by that, but you didn't. All right.
Well, no,
we're on the same page.
No, yeah, we're on the same page here. So
awesome. All I will say is I'm somewhat looking forward to watching some Christmas games. I'm actually somewhat looking forward to the NBA season. Hopefully they don't run into the same problems that the NFL did, and hopefully they can continue their success outside of the bubble. So I raise a glass. I wish everyone a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, a Merry whatever you celebrate, and here's to a more positive 2021.
Here's to a more positive 2021. This is Cellar County with Butch and Cofi. We will see you guys next time.
Dang.